Alright, Zoe, let's take a look at your paper. Just last name and page number. Everything here is good. You got a space, the issue that you need to take care of. It's alright. Not my favorite title in the world, but alright, so we talked about this, about starting with the whole idea of a tragic hero. See symptoms that lead to paranoid schizophrenia. Make sure you know that you can't use the word you. That's minus a point every time you use you. So just be careful of that. I like that you talked about what could have happened during pregnancy. Although I don't think there's a strong enough connection now that he expresses multiple symptoms of an enlarging disorder, which is good. But you only got one sentence left. I'd rather see you take, a sentence or four to really go over the main points and how that relates to maybe the olden days or whatever, and then get into this. Now, your thesis statement led him to disregard anyone else but himself, which is fine, but I wanted to know how it leads to his downfall as well, so I think there needs to be a stronger connection there with what his downfall will be. So hopefully you make that connection as we read your paragraphs. And Zoe, now that I look at your thesis and your first body paragraph, it's really, I think, all about this, actually, because I don't know really if you get to disregarding anyone but himself, but maybe this will make more sense as we keep going. Okay. When a schizophrenic thinks of himself as an almighty or a superpower, don't say you, okay? No semicolon here. Or they have an overwhelming sense of self. It can be a direct result of paranoid delusion. And then you get into another outside source. This needs a citation since you use this right here. You need a citation here. You have another you, so there's 3 points. You can assume that it's been a few months where he's shown these symptoms of being egotistical, I guess is what you're going to talk about. So you use the killing of Banquo as one example. You use spying on Macduff's house, another example. Alright, so to go and kill his family by pure assumption is truly rash and exhibits, so no comma, exhibits a prime example of delusional symptoms, which again, I thought this was about egotistical symptoms. This is 10,000 English soldiers. So anyway, so think about those little details. And he sees himself as an almighty power. But again, your thesis statement says something about he's disregarding anyone else but himself. So how does this delusion of power play into disregarding everyone? Now, I think you're onto it because I think disregarding the soldiers is one, but certainly not the Macduff example in here at all. So I think you got some work to tie that thesis in here and make sure that these body paragraphs are all focused on that thesis statement. Alright, you need to start with a stronger topic sentence here to really let us know where this paragraph is going. Also, you need a stronger thesis statement, or a transition statement, sorry. This is kind of hinting at it, but it needs to be a little bit stronger. So stronger topic sentence here. So use lots of good outside sources. Got a space issue here. Lots of outside sources to really back up what hallucinations do. You use the most prominent example at the beginning, which is the dagger. And he questions himself. Now this is the point where I want to talk to you. From that moment on, Macbeth attempted to justify and explain his actions to himself. I would like to see proof of that or another example of that, because it's an interesting concept, but I don't know how you're going to back that up. No comma there, so we're going to talk about Banquo now. Witness Macbeth's psychotic hallucination break, maybe something like that. That's just kind of oddly worded. He never, although he gets over it, which I'm assuming means Banquo's ghost, he never develops any greater feelings of guilt, like Duncan, remember. He simply becomes more frequently numb over the course of the play, not caring about anything. So now we're getting into a little bit about your plot, about only caring about himself. Disregard anyone else but himself. So good. We're getting into the plot here. But how does... I guess I don't see how hallucinations play into it. How does seeing Banquo's ghost make him not care about anything but himself? He only worried with himself with himself with making sure his conscience cleared of what he did even more passionately after this instance, a reminder of his betrayal to his loyal friend. If I thought hard about it, I don't think he ever mentions Banquo's name after the ghost appears. Lady Macbeth does, but I don't think he ever does. So I don't think this statement would be necessarily true. No comment here. Encourage him to continue doing things for himself and not caring about the impact on others. Again, I guess you could say, because he doesn't think about Banquo the rest of the play, he is only caring about himself because of the hallucination. So I think maybe that would make sense. The dagger is pointing him towards the chamber. He knows it's the wrong thing to do, but he only thinks about him getting ahead in life. So that's selfish, something like that. I think are better ways to go with that concept. All right, I'm also going to argue on you about a few points in here too. Okay, so the biggest impact was cognitive symptoms, which again, we need a stronger topic sentence. I don't know where you're going. So you got an outside source. You don't have any quotes in here from Macbeth, which troubles me, which at least the last paragraph you did have something in there. But he continuously gains news as he meets the witches and speaks with his wife. Don't worry about this thing right here. Don't worry about you don't even bring it up anyway. I mean, maybe you could say the 10,000 English soldiers was a way that he gained news, but it's all about trouble using the information you have. And you touch on it. It is troubling that he processes the information as his first choice to kill Duncan, which is fine. So what, again, I want you to see is, how does this relate back to the thesis statement? How does it keep going back to this egotistical nature of only caring about himself and not others? Because when he got the information, he consulted his wife the first time, and the other information, he just uses it to kill people, basically. So no comma here, no colon here. Oh, I'm sorry. You got it. Items in a series. That is a comma there. Coerces him into the state of the mind that he does not realize he is in. Be more specific there. This doesn't lead him to kill the guards. He does that of his own free will. That knowledge made him blind, although at the time he didn't think so. He does make a rash choice, but again, it's what helps him become king, probably. And like I said, this needs to be more touched down. That idea of making decisions on your own and how that should work. So that paragraph needs a little work. All right, so you have the restatement of the thesis statement. You have all your main points, although some of these are really worded awkward here. Started with his killing the innocent people, just in belief of those deceased being against him. I don't even know what that means. You mean Duncan or Banquo being against him? I'm not sure. The illness trickled into his mind when he started having illusions. He went crazy with the images of Banquo and the dagger, which is fine. The marking place for the treasure can be found in his bad decisions overall, a side effect forcing his illness into sight. I just think that's the wrong tone for this particular piece. This is a really weak clincher. You're not saying anything new or adding on to your original statement. Okay, this has got to go to the top of the page, so get rid of all those spaces. Get rid of this space. What is schizophrenia? What is this site then? So try to figure how did that work. Did you use all these sites in your essay? Make sure that all these are actually being used there as well. Cliff's notes, that would be capitalized. You need periods at the end of these. Why didn't you put an address here for this one, since you did it for all the other ones? Well, I guess you didn't do it for this one either. So put them all in or leave them all out, Zoe, one of the two. All right, I think you just need a little bit more focus on some of these paragraphs, Zoe. Tweak a few things here and there, and I think you'll be on the right track. So good luck with the rewrite.